And there we are. I see that mug on there, and that mug is mine. And my name is Manny Vitale, host of My Fight Our War. And unfortunately, this mug is going to be the only mug you're going to see. Um, Things happen. And I was contacted by Josh. As you know, that tonight was the show, myself and Josh from Scar Nation. We're going to go on and do his show. This was going to be about him and everything that's going on. And you know what? Things happen in our personal lives. Things happen in life. So Josh did reach out to me, and unfortunately, some things come up, and he had to reschedule. So and we all take this very seriously. Seriously, we don't just you last minute do stuff just for the hell of it. So things happen. So first thing he did is he reached out. So thank you, Josh, for that. And immediately he filled in dates to reschedule his show. That was first and foremost on his mind. So, thank you for that, Josh. Definitely appreciate it. Because, myself and everyone else are definitely looking forward to your show, looking forward to everything you got to say, because we're here for you, brother, just like we're here for everybody who wants to tell their story. So again, there is going to be a reschedule. So tonight you get me, and then off camera working the board, working the comments and all that is I almost said the Wonder Dog. Actually, Wonder Dog is underneath the table. That was Susie's paw. The OGGA, Lynn is going to be taking comments and helping with questions and all that comments. And we're just going to let this sucker rip. There's other comments and things that we are kind of filled in already. And Wonder Dog Susie is under my feet. She'll be so if you see me grimacing, it's either two things: my stitches just ripped open, my bone in my back fell out, or I got bit by Wonder Dog. So, anyways, all seriousness, seriously, whatever. Serious stuff aside, what the hell am I trying to say?
We're on.
We're on. Yeah, good thing this isn't live. But unfortunately, like I said, things do happen, and like I said, we are going to reschedule. We've got him scheduled for this coming Sunday. It's a week from today, June 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So, unfortunately, things didn't work out, but you know what this is? It's just a buildup for a better show. That's all. It's just it's it's just going to build up for better things. And those of you who for whatever reason maybe not were able to catch the show tonight, well, you know what, we've got all week to redo our schedules to catch myself and Josh and OGGA, Lynn and Susie the Wonder Dog all next Sunday. So please jot that down. Next Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern time, myself and Josh from Scar Nation will be doing his show live, and we'll be tearing it up. So tonight, we are pretty much just going to let it rip, man. And I don't mean that certain ways, because you say something like that around OG, man, I'm not sure what she had to eat or didn't eat, but sometimes she takes things a little bit too literally, and it's just going to be the one cheek sneak and all that. Me and Susie are going to be bailing. But anyways, man, I hope you guys had a great day, a nice weekend. I'm trying to you know what? I know it. Well, let's update them. I'm sure no one is aware that I had back surgery.
Well, if they are, tell
them. So we'll just start jumping around a little bit. For those of you who may be wondering, anything about my back, I have gotten a shit ton of well wishes, and I've said thank you before, and how much words mean, and how much our support, how much it means, not only for this right now, from the beginning, why we all start these groups, why we start support groups, hold on a minute, I gotta get these teeth out of my ankle. These are to help people. I was only kidding. Is the support and the motivation, it's like all rolled into one. Sometimes things happen, and there's different levels that I have. Every day is a learning experience with me, with My Fight or War, with all of the other amazing hosts and families. Like I said, I watch all these different shows and try to learn every day. And just kind of what works, what, for you might have a great, outstanding, just amazing show platform that everybody's watching. And you'll have someone maybe just getting started into the podcast life and want to emulate and want to do, okay, well, shit, this person's so popular doing all that. This is what I need to do. And they do the exact same thing with the format, trying to copy what the success of this person is. And they completely just fail. And it's because you're not that person. What I do, and I never tell people what to do when it comes to recovery, when it comes to anything. With My Fight or War and everything else that we do, we offer opinions. What works for me, maybe this might work for you. You might give it a try. If not, okay. But to sit there and say you have to do it this way to succeed it's a recipe for failure and disaster, as far as I'm concerned. Because when it comes to doing anything in life, there's no one way. There's a right way and a wrong way. There's your way. So that's the way, that's just the way I look at things. And so, when it comes to doing these podcasts and these shows, I try to just pick up little bits and pieces. And because at first the good thing and the bad thing when I first started is I had no experience at all in anything when it came to recovery, when it came to podcasts, when it came to starting a social media family. I didn't know what the hell I was doing at all. I just went for it. And I just, I made that very clear in all the videos is we're just going to let this thing, play itself out. And I remember just always involving all of you. Please reach out. When I do these, I look back at some of the videos that I did, the first ones. Oh my God. A lot of people are saying, what do you mean the ones you did? The ones you just did, the ones you're doing right now are killing me. But the ones that I did when I first started that I thought were, man, that was pretty good. Looking back at them now, I'm just like watching them, just like, oh. But I always would say, please reach out and let me know what you think. I mean, and I said, don't be a yes person. I mean, if you're part of this family, the last thing you want, or the last thing that I want is someone who is part of this family trying to do the right thing by saying the wrong thing, by yes, everything. Oh, how'd that last video go? Oh man, it went great. Good job, good job, good job. And then when afterwards they were like, oh my God, he was so bad. You know what? I was like, please, I mean, let me know. And just like anything in life, if there's anything we can do, that's you.
The top one.
That's just a StreamYard.
Okay.
Here, I'll read it for you. That's you saying it's okay.
You can rock it.
Yeah, she had a little episode today slamming her. She has for some reason she likes to slam her nose into hard objects. And it's just why I don't know. But so if she's a little off more than usual, that's why. So, but huh?
What I added on today?
My head.
Oh.
I leaned over and you leaned
Oh.
over. And I was trying. Yeah, you were trying to be helpful. Yeah, but yeah. So as far as the one thing I did find out about myself is I absolutely love doing shows. I love doing podcasts and lives and talking to people and just this right here. Even though right now it's just me and you. But just the interaction, and especially with our family, and a lot of times we'll see we'll see people who will chime in with comments. They'll pop in all of a sudden. It's just like, hey, how you doing, and all that. And all of a sudden we've got this conversation going, and it's just, yeah, 1 minute, and that, you notice what I didn't say today? I'm only going to pop on here for a second. I didn't say that. So we might be here all night, or we might be here for 10 minutes. So there you go. But the one thing, like I said, that I realize is this here, when I walk into this studio and fire up the lights, the camera, the monitor, the mics, the receiver, the headset, everything, get everything in, and I see the lights going. I've got everything going. The monitor, the picture comes on, and all of a sudden you see that in the corner go live. It just, it's like an adrenaline rush, and it's like, yeah, it's showtime, man. Let's all the stuff that's inside. It's like time to let it out, and that's what our platforms are for. That's what all of our platforms are for, no matter if it's a recovery platform, whether it's a platform or a podcast for sports entertainment, whether it's a podcast about, whatever else you want to talk about, such as, I think I know another podcast called Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. I think in the social media world, that's called a segue. I'm learning new words. So actually, I'm not joking about that. As you guys know, I have been just reaching out, trying to figure out ways to get more involved and to do more things. And, after talking to quite a few people about the podcast and different ideas, and about not only improving My Fight Our War and reaching more people in our conversations, I was like, man, we brought up a topic, and I go, man, I would love to talk about that. And then something else came up. I go, that'd be great too. But unfortunately, we cannot talk about those topics on My Fight Our War because we are recovery-based, addiction-based platform. Now, that doesn't mean we just sit there and talk about programs, updates, stories, sobriety dates. That doesn't mean that at all. We still do talk about families, events, things that happen, things that occur throughout life in general. So we do talk about that because in it's recovery and addiction, it's life. It's part of life. So it's stuff that we're still dealing with. But it doesn't, we don't cross the line. And here, I've had people say, well, Manny, it's like your baby. You're the one who created My Fight Our War. You can put anything you want on there, which is true. Anyone who wants to be a total prick could do that. And even though at times I am a freaking prick, I would never do that to My Fight Our War, to my family, because if I put out there when I started our family that we cannot do that, I sure as hell am not going to do it. So in turn, that's why after talking numerous times with other individuals who are hosts of podcasts, hosts of other shows, they're looking at me like an idiot. They're like, just do another podcast, do your own podcast where you can discuss anything at all. There are no limits there. I mean, you have some that, like I love listening to sports shows like 97.1, here in Detroit metropolitan area. And that's what it is. It's a sports channel. You turn that on, you're going to be hearing nothing but sports and sports and entertainment regarding sports. So, looking at that, it's just like, well, we can do that with, if you wanted to do just that, that's fine. But, no. So basically what it is the creation of Manny Vitale's Wolfpack, where it's essentially open mic night every time that camera comes on. We are going to have, what I want to do is like me and OG were talking, is a lot of input from everybody. This is not just a page where it's only for recovery, and this is for everyone in social media. This is for anybody who turns on Facebook and they're like, hey, look, there's that guy again. And now he's got, some other show going on, and it says here we can talk about anything we want. And I know when you say something that broad, you're going to get some bonehead that's going to want to talk about something so ridiculous. And to that, I say, all right, you know what? We'll talk about something unless it's to the point where if it offends anybody, hurts anyone, something like that, it will not be discussed. And maybe we'll talk a little bit about what a moron you are. So, a good friend of mine who was in the radio business for a long time, actually, it was before 97.1 became sports radio. Good friends of mine, Dominski and Doyle show. Jeff Dominski, Bill Doyle, Beaver was the producer. All these guys, I got to be friends with them, and I'll never forget. I can't remember if it was Dominski or maybe it was Beaver or someone said these callers would call in and try to be rude and try to be smart asses to the host of the show. And during that, you would hear them say, I'm in control of the mic. Okay, say what you want. Now you are gone. Now I got the mic to talk about you the rest of the show. And OG just popped on, and there's Cassie. Cassie, hello there. How are you? What's going on? And yes, Cassie, you got me and OG and Susie the Wonder Dog tonight. I'm not sure if you were on from the beginning. We'll recap a few times and let everyone know what's going on. I know you guys were expecting myself and Josh from Scar Nation. Unfortunately, there were some change or some things came up very last minute, and Josh got a hold of me, and we had to do a little last minute rescheduling. So the show for myself and Josh that was scheduled for tonight will be a week from tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern, where you will be able to see Josh from Scar Nation tell his story. So I hope you don't mind, Cassie, but this is what you got tonight. So, and I'm in a pretty good mood here because I took my 6 o'clock meds. Little chuckles over here is, like I said, besides being my admin for taking care of this show immensely, she's also supposedly an RN. I still have never seen any documents. She every now and then I'll see her with a stethoscope. She could be a veterinarian for all I know. I don't know. But so she's been very kind and dealing with setting up the meds and stuff. Even with my last surgery, she was nice enough. She comes over, she puts, you should see, I got little cups. It says
6 a.m.
It says AM, midday, PM, and then it said HS. So I was like, oh, these are my high school meds. That means hours of sleep. I guess that's something when it has hours of sleep. So you got us three tonight, and we're going to be covering a few things as far as the Wolfpack. We are going to be discovering. Who knows what we're going to be discovering? God knows. But Cassie, if as always, you know how much I appreciate every time I see you. Like you and Carol and Kyle and Tyler, and Vincent and everybody that pops on here. I've said it before, and I'm not just saying that right now because I don't want to be alone on here. I don't want to be alone with OG. Sometimes he gets dangerous. Yeah, and I got Susie the Wonder Dog under here. But it is fun. I guarantee you, if you stick around tonight, we'll have some fun. Tyler, how you doing, Tyler? I know you already know what's going on with Ty and all that. So let's do a little flip-flop in here, and let's just have a good time tonight, man. It's open mic. Cassie, what's going on with you and the family? What'd you do this weekend? What's that? You got something in there you want to tell people what an amazing person Manny Vitale is. Hey, Cassie, by all means, pop on in and just, like I said, let her rip. But Tyler, good to see you as well, man. Let's see. But seriously, seriously, on a funny note and all that stuff. But really, man, this is what family's about. Is we are going to be hitting on the other podcast, Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. We are going to be hitting on what that's going to entail. as well as everything in between. But part of that, it all evolves around you guys. So like right now, man, let's just jump into that. Tyler, I know that you've got a lot to say with everything you've been going through and the dealing with. I know that you said that besides you and jamming with your guitar, that you were looking at headsets and mics about possibly getting into doing some podcasting yourself. Cassie, like seriously, as far as you and your amazing family and stuff like that, if you guys want to pop in and just with anything that you'd like to share, it'd be great to like for me this morning. I don't know if you guys saw, I was going to church and I was early. So I shot down to where I actually graduated our graduation party over for all of you St. Clair Shores people in Michigan. It's right on beautiful Lake St. Clair. And I would sit down and I'm looking around and I said all the ducks in a row and all that, made that stupid joke. But as I'm looking at it, I was sitting there all alone, just looking around, and I was like, all of this beauty. And I want to share it. It's like, dumbass. Let's see. If you only knew someone who had a podcast, if someone who had a phone that could push live. So it was like right then and there, man. I hit that because it made me so happy. So in turn, I wanted to share that with you guys. So if there's anything at all that is going on, no matter how big or small, please, by all means, let us know. And, like I said, Tyler, I know that you were looking into the podcast stuff going on. So I don't know if you're still, Tyler may have said, okay, goodbye, and hit delete already or end. But, seriously, man, if you want to chit chat about something going on with what you're doing or which way that's going, Cass, same with you and the kids, family, anything like that, feel free, man, jump on in. Or as it says on there, except for OG, let her rip. Chuckles. See, one of these days when we make it to big time, and I don't even know if I'm saying it right about the splitter and all that, where like a lot of the people they'll have two cameras going, they'll have two people going in different areas of the studio. So like right now I'd be doing what I'm doing. She'd be doing her stuff as far as setting up promos, setting up the questions, setting up comments for people coming in for me to answer or for the guests to answer. And at the same time, when this happens, instead of just hearing this voice, and we all know when it comes from OG that when she speaks, we all think it's coming from above because it's those soothing words of what? Yeah, sounds like Susie. But
Carol said hi and asked if she missed Josh.
Carol, no. And I am going to cover that again because we are going to cover and recover and cover and recover. See, we are a recovery group. Huh? Carol, you did not miss Josh. We're supposed to have Josh from Scar Nation at 6:00. Doing his show as far as his story and everything that's going on. And Josh got a hold of me as soon as he could prior to 6:00 to let me know that unfortunately some things came up. And as we all know in our crazy lives, that last minute things happen and it's life, So he got a hold of me as soon as he could to let me know. And which was great because I had time to reschedule some stuff with OG's help. We got a bunch of stuff just popped in here that we're going to be covering. So no, Carol, you did not miss Josh. And write this down that we will be covering him and his show, his story, a week from today, June the 30th at 6 p.m. Eastern. So no, you did not miss Josh. And so for everyone that's wondering that, it's going to be a great show. So it will just be a week away. So Carol, as I was informing everyone else that, this was promoted for a show at 6:00. The last thing I'm going to do is just do nothing and not have a show, which some of you people are going, oh no, really, Manny, it's okay. We don't really need to see you for another, And also, Carol, I didn't say I'm only going to pop on here for a second. So, as I told OG here, that means I could be on here for the next 3 freaking hours or for the next 5 minutes. Oh, so I got a sound effects board. Want to try that one again there, Chuckles? Ooh, ooh. Even Susie was like, ooh. But Carol, as I was shouting out to everyone else, just different things that are going on as far as just life in general with my fight or war. Of course, we update everything as much as we can. And as far as with my fight or war, obviously on Sundays at 6 p.m. is our scheduled slot to do shows for people who want to come on, who would like to share their stories, no matter, whatever it is, if they want to share their stories about their recovery. That's what that 6 o'clock slot is for. It doesn't mean it's written in stone, because sometimes, because of situations like today, it has to be altered. Speaking of being altered, this happened one other time. By no one's fault. It was I had Donna from Hard Knocks was supposed to be on. Everything was great. Everything was prepped. We were talking, went to hit live, and it said, due to problems with Facebook, we are having problems. Try again later. And of course, it did not work. So we tried for over almost 45 minutes. We tried and tried and tried, and we ended up not being able to do the show. I was very upset because Dan and Donna mean the world to me. I mean, all you guys do, as you know, and you've heard, Dan and Donna from Hard Knocks, and Brad McLeod from Sober School were the ones that got this fire burning, and I owe them everything. And we always want things to be perfect no matter what. But, we all have certain things in our lives for certain reasons that have that little extra. And for Dan and Donna and Brad, for what they've done for me and took me under their wing and the stuff they showed me and helped me with, I want it to be just right, even, more than just right, more than perfect, because I owed them that. I felt in my heart. And sure as shit, I hit that, and bam, didn't work. As soon as we finally called it a night, I sat here and I was telling OG, I'm like, man, this pisses me off. I'm hitting shit. And I go, we were done for the night. And I go, I'm going to try one more time. And it worked. So, and I see my broster. I see Brianna. How you doing, Brianna? I believe he canceled. Oh, Brianna. Okay. Takes me a second. Brianna, how you doing, man? I tell you what, man, talk about some talent, and talk about Manny Vitale's Wolfpack. There is prime example. As you guys know, Jared and Brianna from Blacklist Podcast. Jared, when it comes to musicians, that dude is badass and needs to be heard. And that's unfortunately something that on this podcast we can't run and jump with. We can't, because it's what it is. Because of the platform and the topic and all that stuff. But it is welcome on the Wolfpack, and we are in the process of working out some details to get him on the show, because you have got to hear his material. He is incredible. So, Brianna, I can't wait to have you guys on the Wolfpack, and so we can start, taking this, whatever I can do to help, man. I'm all in. I love you guys, and it's my privilege and honor to be able to do anything that I can for you guys. Matt, what's happening, brother? Thank you so much. And give me any Wolfpack or My Fight or War get-togethers. Well, My Fight or War. He's asking about if that ever happened. Or am I reading this wrong or something?
Any Wolfpack or My Fight or War get-togethers ever?
Oh, get-together. See, now that's why you're here to do that, because I'm reading. Well, not reading. But to answer your question, Matt, no. But we've actually discussed this, and I remember bringing this up. It was probably 2 months after I started My Fight or War over a year ago. That how incredible it would be. And I think it was me and Ty from Scar Nation, who were talking about, why can't it happen? You know what? Anything we can do, anything we want. Who says we can't? And all we got to do is set a date, set a time, set a place, and do it. So, OG,
Sometime in the future.
so OG,
the future.
Ty. So oh my God, between you two, shit, we'd have this taken care of by the end of this show tonight. And I'm not kidding about that either. But that where'd Matt go? Where'd Matt go?
Jared said hi. He's driving.
You
hear me?
Yes. How could I not? Chuckle there. Everything. Yeah, and Brianna for over at Blacklist Podcast. That's like you said, everything's welcome. As far as you guys and what you want to discuss and all that, that's fantastic and that's great. And to do that, and that's everyone, whatever you choose to do on whatever platform is, it's perfect. And to each their own as far as whatever works. And that's why with certain podcasts, you do what you got to do. But as far as like with Josh and all that, I do not want to limit that for any time frame or anything. That's why with having you guys on the Wolfpack and just dedicating that to that, and then jumping over to other things at the same time. That's what's going on as far as the difference with with the My Fighter War, the Wolfpack. So that's why I formed the Wolfpack. But and Jared said, what? Jared's driving. Oh, Jared's driving. Well, hey, Jared, and I have been bragging about you since I heard the music that you sent. So yeah, it's it's. I even sent him a return text. It was something as stupid as me saying, "Is that you singing and doing all that stuff?" Well, yeah, that's kind of why I sent it. Dumbass. I was like, so sorry for the stupid comment that I made there, Jared. But I was just so taken back that I mean, it was an awesome mix. It was, and like I said, it needs to be heard. Why is this? I already told that he's driving.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's laughing. But seriously, Matt, that's another thing, man, to get people's, the stuff, the talents, excuse me, sorry, that are going on in people's personal lives, man. There's like a whole nother world. And that right there can be formed right into the recovery part too, man, because that's taking the place of the just like we talk about. You'll hear people like with different things that help, with hobbies, working out, hiking, fishing, whatever it is to do whenever you have that damn evil feeling coming about possible falling off the wagon, those setbacks, and anything else, where you get those triggers that are starting to feel come on, that you do this or you do that to combat that. And so yeah, man, so all this stuff is just cool as hell.
Brianna wants to know how your recovery is doing.
What's that?
Brianna wants to know how your recovery is doing.
It is slow, and it's so funny too, because I was at church today, and I was doing the Manny penguin walk. Like, oh, it looked like a little like Chilly Willy walking, because certain times, with the belly, I was explaining to the one friend of mine, the surgery I had obviously was because of my back. On April the 11th, they went in through my left side, shoved a cage in there into my vertebrae, then rolled me over on my back, cut me open on both sides of my spine, put in 2 plates and 4 screws. It was on April the 11th. And unfortunately, it was after the surgery. I mean, you talk about intense pain for about from the minute I woke up in post-op it was at least almost 16 hours straight,
Mhm.
was the most intense pain I've ever felt in my life. And I didn't know if I mean, it was incredible. Um, they finally came in and gave me something to finally, get over that hump. And then the next morning, I got up about 6 in the morning and got up and started moving around. And all of a sudden, I was like, "Oh shit, I can move a little better." And then all of a sudden, I stood and I stood straight up. And I haven't been able to do that in over a year and a half. And it went amazing. And I remember Dr. Taliafora came in and I was damn near crying like a little sissy because I said, "You changed my life." I was up and down the stairs, and this was on April 12th at that time. Came home and was doing incredible. They were like 4 to 6 week recovery time and all this stuff going on. I was, and I know a lot of people are like, "You did too much. You're an asshole," because of all the stuff in the past. I did a ton of stuff way ahead of time, and this is my spine we're talking about. And as you've seen, and everyone, all of our Gym Rat family members saw, they're like, "Damn, Manny, you're taking this shit extremely serious." And I was like, "It's my back, it's my spine, your lifeline."
No lies.
Yeah. So did everything, but I was under doctor's orders what to do and not to do. And he turned my ass loose. He's like, "Listen, you are doing phenomenal. I want you to push it, up to this point." He said, "Go to the gym." He said, "Lift weights." He said, "Do bench press." He said, "Do shoulders." He said, "Do back." I sat there just staring at him. I want to kiss you. And it was just everything that I wanted to do. He said, "Yes." He goes, "I do not want you to twist and bend." That was it. But he wanted me to do all these things. So I said, "Okay." And I was still in disbelief. And I said, "Please tell me what my limits are as far as what is the most I could push it to." And he was like, "Basically, push it until," he goes, "I know how you weightlifters, lifters are, that, you get to the seventh or eighth or whatever rep. And all of a sudden you're like, screw it. You do like four more." This big dude, my doctor, Dr. Taliafora, Nate, you think hands of a surgeon, he's delicate like a flower. Man, not my guy. My first time I saw him, the door opens and I had to look way up. And I'm like, "What the fuck?" I said, "Who are you?" I go, "You my surgeon's bodyguard?" And he got a kick out of that. But so I mean, this dude, he was like, "No, man, I want you to push." He goes, "But," he goes, "I want you to push yourself up to the point where," um, and exact words, he said, "when you get to that point and you want to blast out another 2 or 3 reps because you can do it. However, it's gonna really take some exertion." He said to me, "I want you to hear my Jiminy Cricket voice." Why he said that, I don't know. It must have been for a reason because, first of all, hearing this, monster lineman looking surgeon just say the words, "my Jiminy Cricket voice," you can't laugh at him because he'll just smack the shit out of me. So I'm at the gym and I'm doing everything. People are looking at me, and these are people I've known for 30 years, some of them. And they're just like in disbelief. I'm looking in the mirror in disbelief because I was like, I haven't been able to do this. And sure as shit, man, I'm working out and I got that Jiminy Cricket voice and I stopped and I did everything that I was supposed to, nothing I wasn't. I went for my following checkup. And all of a sudden I was informed that I pulled the cage. I didn't, but the cage was pulled 50% out of my spine. He was like, "How are you?" He goes, "I talked to your other surgeons, man." He goes, "They know that you're not very upfront about things." He goes, "I need you to talk to me." And I'm like, "Dr. T, man, I'm telling you, it hurts. Yeah. But I thought it was healing pain. I didn't realize it was pain because of the cages being ripped out of my spine." So unfortunately, a week ago Thursday, I is when all hell broke loose, and I had a lot of pain just blast into my spine, across into my hip, and then numbness into my left leg. I called the doc as I was informed to do immediately. His PA called me back within minutes. They were talking, and there were some graduation for all the residents. So they were all at an assembly, and I'm talking to her about what was happening. And she said, "Oh," she goes, "Dr. Taliaferro, he's right here." So I hear her talking. She's like, "Mr. Vitale's on the phone. Manny's telling me about this symptom. This is what's happening." And all of a sudden, clear as day, I heard, "Have him get to the emergency room now. If he's not able to get there on his own, call an ambulance." So I knew it was serious. So I got to ER on Thursday. And here, like we were talking on the way down there. I'm like, man, it's good. Henry Ford, Maine, ER. I'm going to be sitting there for hours. I mean, hours and hours just to sit there. He called ahead of time and got wheeled in and up to the front, got the, signed in for my original, just to sign in to get my name into the system. And I was probably there for about 20 minutes, half hour or so, and then brought right up to the window to the nurse, to the triage. She immediately, as soon as she punched in my name, it was like game on. She was like, "What symptoms are you feeling? What's going on right now? What's your level?" I mean, because he called ahead of time. Next thing you know, they get me, bring me around to the triage door, put me on a gurney, and I'm getting wheeled down through this maze. And I actually felt so bad because there were people, they were so just overcrowded in the hallway, in wheelchairs, gurneys, all throughout the hallway. And I'm getting zipped right past all of them. I get back into the bay and I get into my little room, my little area. And the nurse was basically there waiting. And she's getting my information. And by this time, my pain is spiking, and it's big time, which they already were aware of too. She's in there because OG was asking about, she's, like I said, as an RN, she knows all the meds. And they said, "We already have something," and came in there, gave me a shot, and it knocked it down. They said, the nurse already, that's when she said, "Just so you know, they're getting a room for you as we speak. We need to get the x-ray to see how much further the cage pulled out." So next thing you know, I'm getting zipped over to x-ray. I was in and out of there within minutes, came back to my room. Next thing you know, this doctor walks in, that tall female, that blonde, real nice doctor, introduces herself and says, "I'm part of your first surgical team, or your ortho surgical team, your spine." To which I was like, "First?" We ended up having two surgical teams, an approach team for my abdomen and another surgical team for my stomach. And it was not fun. Needless to say, they did the surgery Friday, hurt like hell. They went through my stomach and they took the cage out, which was already halfway out. I probably could have just jumped up and down. It fell out. And then they went to put it in and couldn't, because there was so much scar tissue involvement. There's a main artery that goes up the spine, which they said they were coming, because of the situation, so dangerously close that any issues, it would have perforated, and we would not be having this conversation right now. So they had to back out, go at a different angle, and they actually used a cadaver bone, which they use all the time. That's what they do. OG, school is what they did, and it worked fine. Saturday morning, woke up, obviously not feeling good, especially going through my abdomen. So now, almost 2 months to the date, had another surgery. So I was cut on my left side, both sides of my back. Now I'm cut down the middle and the front. Get me up. I'm like, screw this, man. I'm moving. I'm walking, and up and down the hall we went, 15 stairs, up and down, get cleared by everybody. And for some reason, as those of you know me, I'm like, I want the hell out of Dodge. And I was sitting there, Dr. Taliaferro walks in, and we're discussing everything. And I said something about going home. And for some reason, he just gave me this look that he said, "We want to keep you." And for some reason, I don't know what took over me. I was like, okay. I mean, like I was, no, but I agreed, and everything was fine. Walking around, had something to eat, and I remember I think we took another walk, and I went to the bathroom, went to come back to just to sit down on my bed, and it literally felt like something ripped out of my gut, and it was a nice loud yell, and it proceeded to get worse over the next hour or so. And I remember telling OG, I said, I don't feel good. And she goes, what's going on? I go, I just don't feel right. And as a nurse, when nurses hear that, that is a huge red light. I mean, red flag going on. And it was boom. She got a hold of the nurse within minutes. The doctors were in there. We pulled my shirt up, and the left side of my abdomen was huge. And not only that, but my left groin, it looked like someone put a softball in there. And long story short, what happened was something started to drain and leak and whatever perforate. I had basically internal bleeding. So they're like, we've got to get you up to surgery, but we got to do CT to find out what we're going to do. Good news is afterwards, they said the bleeding stopped. The bad news is you've got a belly and groin full of blood. It'll dissipate on its own, but it's going to hurt like hell for the next 2 weeks. Ta-da! Right now, Brianna's like, all I asked was, how you doing? You know what? Brianna's like, you could have just said, I'm doing better. You know what? And actually, that's all I could have. So to anybody, if there's anyone left out there,
Yeah.
I apologize. I said, Ty, I am so glad you're here. And Ty was kind enough. She sent a text as only Ty, doing 10 billion things at once. At last minute, she said that she could fill in. And at that point, we already had different stuff kind of chalked in that we were going to do. But that's Ty. So thank you so much for that. And I'm sure you're aware. I don't know if you talked to Josh or if you saw a recap that we're doing this Sunday at 6:00. So everything's good. Everything is reset. So, but thank you very much, and Ty, for everything, for your help, and for jumping in and adding on to your. Ooh, I'm gonna try to think of a word.
Big
Wait,
schedule, big
gluten.
schedule.
What's a gluttony? Gluttony?
Litany.
Is that right for the situation?
A litany of things, yes.
For your gluttony of things.
Litany.
Huh?
Litany.
What'd I say?
Litany.
What's gluttony mean?
Just say litany.
Well, I'm just gonna say litany. See, this thing is with me. I'm just gonna say shit, and who knows what I'm gonna say? But you know what? It's fun. So there, I have a plethora of shit I'm gonna say.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good word. Good word.
It is a what's that swampy thing that I said earlier? It's a swamp full of quagmire.
Quagmire.
Yeah, that's more like it. When it comes to me, I've got a quagmire of crap that should be spewing. So another thing, since we're just jumping around on stuff, is as I said when we did this recap because of the reschedule, this is not your normal My Fight Our War. This is open mic. Let's just let it rip shit. So Ty, I know you've got a ton of stuff going on. So right now, man, we've got some time here. If there's something or anything you got going on, Ty, what you got going on, man? What do you have going on this weekend? Or I know you got a bunch of stuff. Is there anything that you want to chit chat about right now that you want that you'd like to throw out there, man? Because I know you always got stuff. So just chime in here, type away, and old Chuckles here will let me know. See? Chuckles. Oh, my stomach. Huh?
Can they hear me at all?
Everybody can hear you. What else we got going? I don't know. Man, I almost lost it on that one. Since this is a different little forum we got going on here, I want to jump over to yesterday. For those of you who saw, we had the event where I work over at Wolverine Harley Davidson, the Blessing of the Bikes. And I'm sure Jared, Brianna, and all you bikers know exactly what I'm talking about. So Wolverine Harley Davidson, we did the blessing of the bikes, and man, what a great time. And Least of Saints, I got it right. The Least of Saints Motorcycle Club are just a group. It's MC. It's a MC, and it's called Least of Saints. And they were kind enough to help sponsor the blessing of the bikes and come out and not only do the blessing, but spend some time with the people, spend some time with the bikers, and not only do a blessing. A lot of people who know what I'm talking about with blessing of the bikes, there's a lot of different formats. I've been to them where I have been in parking lots, like these huge church parking lots, or other locations where the it's so big and there's so many bikes, and that's how they're set up, where they'll have all of them lined up, and they'll have platforms where people get up with microphones. Sometimes there's bands, sometimes events going on during the blessing of the bikes. And what they'll do at a certain time is they'll make an announcement for all bikers, all riders to get next to your bikes. And we will stand next to our bikes. So some people will get on them. And, that's our baby. That's our lifeline, man. Once you're on that bike, it's part of you. Mine has gotten me through stuff, just like all of you know what I'm talking about. And then what they'll do is they'll do a general blessing over everybody that's there. And it's very beautiful, the beautiful words, very meaningful. So that's what I was expecting as well. I get there, and I was informed that Least of Saints were taking care of this. What I didn't know is who was doing the blessing, because I wanted to add that in as well for the podcast. So when I walked out, I saw their canopy and with Least of Saints, and I can't remember the quote or the that they had where you gave me that coin, whatever it was, Ephesians or whatever it was. Anyways, I saw where they were, and like I said, man, these are a bunch of burly bikers sitting over there in the corner. And I was told that Terry was the one who was pretty much running the show. I walk over there, and being a former bike, a former MC, I was with the Detroit Highwaymen. And so you kind of see things differently through our eyes when you're looking at different clubs. I don't care what, once you're an MC, you're slightly different than just like a riding group. So I'm looking over there and I see this group, and I was like, okay, well, I see that group over there and this few guys in this corner. That's where I'm heading. So I go cruising on through, and immediately a few guys got up, and I walked in and introduced myself. And there was, I said, how you doing? I go, I'm looking for Terry, who this gentleman said, I'm him. And he was the one running this thing. I introduced myself. I go, I'm Manny Vitale. I work for George, and I work for Wolverine Harley Davidson. And I also help with their podcasts and their videos and stuff like that. And thank you for what you're doing. But I want to do a little, follow up to get some interviews and stuff like that. Great guy. And as you guys know that are in the biker world, we all have different names in the biker world. And like if you go with any of the clubs and all that, knowing, you could walk up and say, yeah, Manny from the Highwaymen, not one person would know who you're talking about. You walk up and say, Gunner from the Highwaymen, they'll know exactly who you're talking about. So as I'm saying, Terry, people, were kind of looking around, and, his club name is Mighty Mouse. So right then he was the one who was, the main person. And it was, what a great group of guys. The people there, all of his club brothers, all the people involved were just incredible. He informed me that there was no one person that was going to do it, that they were coming in as the bikers came in. They would park wherever. Some of them pulled right up in front of where they were. And, Mighty Mouse and his club brothers, Carpenter, the president, and these guys got up, got to introduce themselves, got to meet the riders on a personal level, and then actually said a prayer with them at their bike. And then other bikers were coming in that were parked all over the place. The other club brothers took over and started coming in. Wanda, how you doing, Wanda? thank you for being here. It's always nice to see you, Wanda. So thank you. So the other club brothers were going over to these bikes, man. And that's the first time I've ever seen that. And it was so freaking cool that seeing the look on some of these guys' face. And I told Mighty Mouse, man, I said, listen, I've been part of this for a long time as far as seeing these different events and everything and how it goes, and seeing just the appreciation that the blessing of the bikes really does mean to people as far as these riders. They look forward to it every year. I know I do. And some people think of it, it's just another reason to get together and party. Yeah. But when it comes to that moment, when they're saying the prayers over the bikes, you can hear a pin drop. And it's words that are very seriously taken by all the riders, because I personally have put club brothers in body bags for, not all for accidents, but some for just that, for unfortunately wrecks on the bike. And so as we all know, it's a very dangerous, getting out of bed is dangerous, for crying out loud. Getting in our automobiles are dangerous. You could be in my F-150 or my bike, and I could get hit on my bike and survive. I could get hit in my truck and be done. So, but when it comes to the blessing of the bikes, it is very serious to us. And I told him that too. I said, just seeing the reaction to these guys when they came in, and they were nice enough to be that part and that personal with the bikers. And I let him know that. And I let Carpenter, the president, know that as well, that, I said, listen, man, look at these guys. And here I am telling him, and that's their baby, their ideas. So it was I was very honored to be part of it, in any way at all, but just to see the interaction. And, it was so nice because afterwards, I mean, it was only probably maybe an hour tops that I got to actually have engagement with these guys, because I did do an interview with them. It's on our page. It's on not our page. It's actually, I think it might have been crossed over, but it was filmed under my general page as far as the video. And I was at the dealership. I was inside doing another video for George and for the dealership inside the dealership. And all of a sudden he comes, I see him walking up, and he saw that I was, doing stuff, but you could see he was determined to do something. And he walked over, and he handed me this beautiful medallion. And, it's in the truck, but, it just, for his appreciation, just for the way that me and him and his club brothers hit it off. And he said the way that, and the respect level that I gave him and his club brothers, meant a lot to him, and he wanted to show that back. So just, as I said, it's open mic, let it rip tonight. And so that's a shout out to Least of Saints Motorcycle Club, who did just an incredible job helping with blessing of the bikes yesterday at Wolverine. So, well, we got anything else going on? No one else wants to share any juicy stuff? Huh? Nothing?
Looking. I'm talking.
But let's see what we got. Wanda, as I said, I saw Wanda sneak in there. It's out. Yep. Wanda and Ty and Brianna and Jared's driving. Tyler, so holy crap. Well, you know what? It's an hour already. So we will ease their pain. And and like I said, unless there's something anyone wants to chat about, or if there's anything, Ty, if there's something you want to throw out there, that's anything coming up that you'd like to kind of give a little shout out to, please, man. Don't hesitate, man. That's why we're here for you. Brianna, if there's anything at all that maybe you want to throw out there, man. Haven't seen you in a while, my broster. Definitely miss you. And we're heading out to Connecticut July 5th. 5th, 6th, and 7th. I'm going to be on Ian Beck's show, and he was actually kind enough to offer his other studio. He said if I wanted to line up some interviews, and I really don't have a bunch of friends in Connecticut or anyone,
yet.
unless somebody wants to fly out to Connecticut to be on the show. Kathy.
Oh, that's my friend.
Oh, well, you know what? Screw that. Yeah, whatever, Kathy. I guess I can't talk to you, Kathy, because you're Lynn's friend. So no one else talked to Kathy. I'm sorry. Kathy's off limits, everyone. Anything you'd like to say to Kathy Lynn?
I'm
We'll,
sitting here
we'll
with that
here,
right now.
here, we'll
Bye,
sit,
baby.
we'll sit back.
No, that's okay. Oh, shoot. Okay. Hey, Kathy, how you doing, baby? Nice to see you. That's it.
Anything else you'd like to for
No,
me to
that's okay.
tell Kathy?
I don't want to jump in on your show.
Oh, you mean the Lynn and Kathy show? How you doing, Kathy? Thank you for popping on.
Another nurse, by the way.
Thank you for popping on for the Chuckle Show. Another nurse. Well, actually, a nurse. So I could ask Kathy this stuff. But she's probably a licensed nurse. Maybe not.
Oh, yeah, she is.
Oh, she is. Anyways, how you doing, Kathy? Maybe Kathy's got some good stuff. You got anything? Any good dirt? Oh, you got anything good on OG? Huh? Now's the time, boy. I tell you what, if you got something good on her, you can send her. Say, listen, unless you buy lunch for the rest of the year, man, I am going to tell Manny about
XYZ.
You go. But anyways, I'm good to have you on here for the Lynn show. But seriously though, I do want to thank Lynn for jumping in and doing this stuff and taking care of like the scheduling and taking care of everything that you do all the time off, here when you're on here, when you're not on here. Huh?
The nursing care.
Oh yeah. Well, we want but seriously, man, I mean, Ty, I'm sorry, that's actually towards Josh. I'm sure, Josh feels the same way as far as everything that with Scar Nation that you do and the dedication and just like all the people that are involved. And I don't even like to use the word behind the scenes, but it actually is because, there's so much going on that's involved in doing this. And I've had people say, well, when I try to tell them about the stuff that we do, they're like, it looks like a ride and all this. I want to do that. Well, you should. I mean, there's no reason you can't. But, there's a lot that goes into it, man. And if it wasn't for OG's help and doing different things and scheduling different stuff and then doing stuff on the flies, answering messages and comments and then responding because a lot of times, when we are doing these shows and, we're in a conversation and sometimes, man, it's hot and heavy. We're going back and forth and stuff. And now comments are coming in a lot of times regarding to the show. Like sometimes I get very intense and a lot of times all of a sudden it's like gone, the comment's gone and I miss it. So that's why I really appreciate OG being here. And I got that from Dan and Donna. When I did his show on Hard Knocks, I remember when we started the show, right when it started up, we did the promo, the intro and all that. And right before it even started, right when it started, Donna made a comment to Dan saying, listen, the board's already full, which I didn't know what the fuck they were talking about. And he's like, all right, well, we got comments. And that's the one thing too, when we have these shows, whether I'm a host of a show with someone on or whether I'm a guest on another show, where these comments on the side, it's great for, hey, how you doing and all that, but they're there for a reason as well, man, because we are all part of this together. So, it's great for the hi, how you doing and all that. But also if you have questions, for myself, if you have questions, like if Josh was on tonight, if you had questions for Josh, with Nicole, with Chad, with Ty, when she was on, with Riggins, with David Riggins, when he was on, when whoever the guest is, you are actually co-host because, with besides my questions, it's open for you to comment as well on a comment that you may have for me or whoever the guest is, a question that you may have for me or whoever the guest is. This is about all of us. This isn't a one person, horse and pony show or pony or
Dog and pony.
dog. It's not an animal show. Well, depending. Yeah, it's My Fight Our War, man. It's a wolf, and the other one's a wolf pack. So it is an animal show. All right, man. It's time to wrap this shit up, man, because I'm not making sense any more than usual, which I usually don't make sense anyways. So, Kathy, unfortunately, Lynn has to go now. So, anything that you'd like to say to Lynn?
I've already talked to her.
Well, I'm sorry. Is there anything that you would like me to jot down for you and Lynn? I mean, are you and Kathy? Do you have any?
Okay, it's good.
Do you have any upcoming events that you would like me to discuss for you two? I mean, are you? Oh, it's private. Okay, well, we'll stay out of that one. So, folks, for those of you that chimed in, expecting to see myself and Josh, and unfortunately, you got just this. I'm sorry. But you did get OG and Wonder Dog Susie, and it was nice chatting with you guys as always. And I love you. And we will be next Sunday. Will be the rescheduled show for Josh. So please mark that down on your calendars. And we're not going to do it right now, but we've got the list of all the other stuff that's going on as far as the guests lined up for the Sunday slots. And I will, for anyone else who wants to be a guest on the show, please send a message to myself or to Lynn and let us know, if you like, that you want to be a guest, and we will be in contact and go from there. So until then, man, thank you for everything as always. And OG, you got anything you want to end with?
Just want to wait.
Well,
Bye.
there, maybe you want to put your beak in there.
My
Instead,
nose?
well, beak, nose,
My
instead of
Okay,
yeah.
because he keeps hitting my nose. I don't know what the...
Yeah, with a knee, with a counter and everything. I mean, she thinks she's a woodpecker. But have a great night, all, and we will be chatting soon. So I love you guys. So until then, man, keep fighting a good fight. Man, we're still alive. Yeah, we're still alive. We're still alive.